Yo, you wanna see something cool? No? Well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
This is the Sony ZV-1 Mark II, it's a great name, which is a relatively new camera and one I just recently purchased. And when I get a new camera like this, I like to customize it. I never really understand the need for branding or all these labels on it that just make it either easier to steal or, I mean, you already know what camera it is just by looking at it. So on the actual camera itself, I like to get rid of the Sony logo, and on the lens, I like to just blend in some of the fluff that's on it. I just don't think it's that necessary. On the side of the camera, there's these three little latch panels that I get cover up some of the different kind of channels of it, and I like to get rid of the aux port one just because I'm constantly plugging in and out a mic all the time with this camera, so I just hate messing with just having this little latch on and off. I don't know if this is specifically to protect the camera, but if that's getting damaged, then probably the rest of the camera is getting messed up. Speaking of messing up the camera more, I like to then paint the actual camera. I chose white, blue, and pink. White just to blend in a little bit on some spots I thought were necessary, and pink and blue just, I don't know, looked cool at the time. On the bottom, there's just a bunch of jargon I just don't like having out, and there's also another logo on it I want to get rid of. And on the back, there's just a big white empty space, so why not at least put a little bit of your own personalization on the camera? I never understood when people have to have all these things completely pristine. I mean, at the end of the day, they're tools, so why not make them yours? Adding the tape just allows you to paint a little bit more freely and get better strokes on it rather than just having super blotchy aspects. Since getting the camera, I found the record button to be not like the easiest to hit all the time. So I measured out the diameter, quickly just whipped up this little dot with a fillet fitting on it to make it rounded. Shot that over to my 3D printer, which literally took, I think, 1 minute and 10 seconds to print because it was such a small bit. Yep, there it is done already.
This might be one of the most intensive 3D prints you've ever seen. Oh, can't even get it.
I'm also not allowed to print while my dog's around. He doesn't like the noise. He's probably posing the same question as you guys as why the hell are you painting your camera? Anyways, I'm going to take an X-Acto knife to it just to give it a little bit of rough edges so when you actually end up gluing it, it bonds a lot better than just normally gluing on the very smooth surface that you have. Just a little dollop of glue, press it down for a little bit, and then let it sit for about 24 hours because it's not that much, so you really want to make sure it all sits well. And it actually has a practical effect because it's just a little bit easier to hit the recording button when you're just pulling out the camera because the use of it should just be something that you whip out of your pocket and hit record, so getting that button quickly is easy. Just to add that next level of customization, I actually like to then engrave the camera itself. This serves absolutely no use, just like the painting, but just adds that little bit of customization to make this camera actually yours. 1 million people have this camera, but no one's going to have it that's going to look exactly like this one, and I think that's just a really unique aspect to making these little customizations. And just when I thought I was done, I realized I forgot to add any blue paint, so I went ahead and painted the entire front of the camera blue. If I was really feeling up for it, I thought about maybe like taping certain design patterns on it and going for a full paint, but just for this camera, it was down and dirty. I wanted these two colors to make it nice and easy, and this is what the final result kind of ends up looking like. If you get a new camera and you actually decide to customize it like I do in this, please let me know, as I'd really like to see what you guys can come up with.
I'ma stay running, this view is stunning. My blood is rushing, you got me blushing. I must keep trucking, won't catch me bugging. I'll be your mega, end of discussion.
Hula gang who? Cozy coupe, that's the ticket. Shoes, Reeboks and twos when I choose to kick it.